Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Shabbat Shalom. I am going to start talking more openly about Judaism and my Judaism, my Jewish life, more than I ever really have on this channel. Um, Judaism is something that I have wanted to discuss since I started my channel almost 3 years ago now. But as I've mentioned briefly in a few other videos, I feel extremely conflicted about my Jewish identity. I explained this a little more in my video on the conflict between the Black Lives Matter movement and American Jews. I will link that video below. And there's so much that I want to talk about. I want to somehow start addressing that conflict to the best of my abilities. Not in this video specifically, but in general, because the whole thing is ludicrous. The Klan hates both blacks and Jews. So the idea of American Jews and Black Americans being in conflict with each other is just ridiculous. And if you think I feel conflicted as a white American Jew, Black American Jews feel, even 1,000 times more conflicted. I can't even imagine how that must feel. And I have been avoiding talking about that aspect of American Jewish life. And the other thing I'm struggling with is kind of spiritual perfectionism. And if you've come out of any kind of extremist, fundamentalist, high control type ideology, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Even outside of a spiritual or religious context, I just never feel like I'm good enough. And, that's a very common experience for neurodivergent people in general, especially, people of my generation and earlier, when there was even less understanding of cognitive neuroscience. But if you compound the two things, having autism and being a cult escapee, it's something I really, really struggle with. And it's leading to not doing much in terms of any kind of Jewish practice. And it's not because I don't want to, it's because I have this very visceral fear of not doing it right. And perfectionism and how I'm learning to interact with my perfectionism, that's another discussion for another video. But I admit that my struggle with perfectionism is leading to me not really doing much in terms of Jewish practice. I what am I trying to say? And I think there's also some ableism in there too, because I can't read like standard size print as quickly as I used to be able to. And so a lot of regular print Jewish materials and religious texts are not as accessible to me as they used to be. And um, I got signed up for the Jewish Braille Institute and I received a large print Siddur or prayer book um, for free through their program, which is amazing. And I'll do another video about that. But my point is, I'm both grateful that I have that and also feeling really self-conscious that I can't just be a Jew in the same way that everyone else can be a Jew, which I know might sound kind of immature, but I'm just trying to be honest. I'm struggling with perfectionism. I'm struggling with feeling different in my Judaism, any kind of religious practice. And I think that's like in large part due to all the ableism in the cult. For anyone who's not super familiar with American Christian based fundamentalism, a lot of those groups are rife with eugenic bullshit. I had people try to pry my autism away. I don't even know how many times. Spoiler alert, that didn't work, and I'm still autistic. And along with that, I was actually banned from playing piano for a large chunk of my time in the cult because my unusual musical ability is very clearly somehow connected to my being autistic. After hearing my parents describe how they saw me like teach myself how to play the piano and trying to make sense in my own head of how I learn to play in my unconventional way where I don't use a lot of sheet music, um, because it's so clearly tied to having autism, and these yahoos were saying that autism was the result of demon possession. The rationale was that um, my music must be demonic because I'm demonic. And that's also really messing with me too, I think, because I do play a lot of Jewish music just by myself when I'm by myself. And I've been afraid to perform Jewish music on my channel because I mean there's always the lingering fear that someone will accuse me of hating Palestinians, condoning everything Israel does, and yada yada yada. But also there's this nagging fear that someone might think that I'm not good enough at being Jewish, or I'm not Jewish enough to be playing Jewish music or even just talking about Judaism on my channel. But I came across a really powerful quote on Instagram, and I'm trying to hold on to it and let it reframe my thinking. So I follow a lovely woman on Instagram named Netta. She's hysterical, and she's Muslim. And she said in a video a while ago that she got a comment that she shouldn't wear a hijab, the scarf, because she wasn't devout enough of a Muslim. She wasn't a perfect Muslim, and her response is really sticking with me. She said, I don't wear the hijab because I am a perfect Muslim. I wear the hijab because I am a practicing Muslim. And that is so profound. And I think if I could hold on to that, I think it could really be life changing. Which I know people throw the word life changing around, but I think it could really change the way I think about that. So that's what I'm going to start doing. I am going to start sharing Jewish music and my thoughts on Judaism, not because I'm a perfect Jew. I have yet to meet a perfect Jew. But I'm going to share my music and my thoughts because I'm a practicing Jew. And there's still value in that. This is getting long, so I'm going to end this here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be back soon. All right, bye.
If you enjoyed this video, please do me a huge favor and hit the thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon. Like you Bye.